Hello everyone, my name is Abel. I am the CEO of Creative Marketing Nerds. So our company has been around since 2012, and since our inception, we have dedicated ourselves to the oil and gas industry, specializing in web design, search engine optimization, and content marketing. Our primary aim is to enhance our clients' visibility online because being undiscoverable to potential customers searching for your services is like being invisible in today's digital world. Beyond building engaging websites and boosting search engine rankings, we also consult with businesses, both new and established, to help streamline their internal processes. A significant part of our consultancy involves transitioning businesses or business owners from daily operations to strategic management. We help them evolve from technicians to full-fledged entrepreneurs. Today, I'll guide you through a presentation structured into 5 concise modules. We'll tackle common entrepreneurial misconceptions, particularly what we call the fatal assumption, and we'll explore how AI can revolutionize your business systems. So this workshop is designed for the Latina Entrepreneur Academy, and while you may already be familiar with the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, we'll take a moment to redefine what being a true entrepreneur entails, differentiating it from merely owning a business. So stay tuned until the end for details on our upcoming entrepreneur workshop in August, where we go deeper into these concepts. So let's get started and first address, what exactly is an entrepreneur? What truly defines an entrepreneur, and how does this definition set them apart from other small business owners who feel they are entrepreneurs, but are more accurately described as technicians in their own business? So contrary to popular belief, an entrepreneur isn't just someone who starts a business. An entrepreneur is someone who starts businesses, but builds them in a way that they can eventually operate independently of their founder. So this means that entrepreneurs focus on building systems, delegating tasks, and creating a product or service that can be replicated and scaled. Entrepreneurs are visionaries. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They think about the future, not just the day-to-day. They ask questions like, how can this be done better? How can my business serve a need in a way that no one else is currently addressing? Which leads us to technician versus entrepreneur. So let's contrast this with the technician. The technician is someone who excels at their craft or trade, but has decided to open a business around that skill. Technicians enter the business world under the fatal assumption that because they understand the technical work, that they also understand what it takes to run a business that does that technical work. So here's a key difference. Technicians get caught up in the day-to-day operations. They're so involved in the workings of their business that they can't step back and plan for growth. They essentially own a job, not a business. They have to show up every day, and if they don't, the business suffers. They're stuck in what we call working in the business rather than working on the business. Now, let's talk about the entrepreneurial mindset. To develop an entrepreneurial mindset, you must transition from doing to strategizing. It's about moving from being the person who provides the service or makes the product to the one who innovates and leads the business towards growth. Entrepreneurs think about systems. Who can I train to do this task? How can this process be automated? What strategies can I implement that will allow the business to operate without my constant supervision? This transition doesn't happen overnight. It requires a shift in perspective and a deliberate effort to change how you approach your role within your business. It involves learning new skills that are often outside the comfort zone of a technician, such as marketing, financial forecasting, and human resources. In the next modules, we'll talk a little bit more into how you can make this shift effectively, focusing on the tools and strategies that can help you evolve from a technician to an entrepreneur. This transformation is crucial, not just for your business's growth, but for achieving the work-life balance that likely motivated you to start your business in the first place. The first module of our presentation is Introduction to Entrepreneurship. And we'll start by talking about the entrepreneurial mindset. So the entrepreneurial mindset is not only about setting up a business, but it's also about nurturing certain characteristics that distinguish successful entrepreneurs from mere business owners and technicians. We'll focus on the defining characteristics of successful entrepreneurs and the pivotal roles of vision and innovation in entrepreneurship. So let's start with the characteristics of successful entrepreneurs. Visionary thinking is a huge part of this. So successful entrepreneurs are visionaries. They have a clear picture of what they want to achieve and are adept at setting long-term goals. Visionary thinking involves looking beyond the day-to-day operations and understanding where you want your business to be in the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. Entrepreneurs are resilient and adaptable. Entrepreneurship is not without its challenges. The ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to changing circumstances is crucial. Successful entrepreneurs don't get discouraged by failures. Instead, they use them as learning opportunities to forge ahead. They're also proactive. So rather than reacting to business events, successful entrepreneurs anticipate and prepare for them. This proactivity helps them stay ahead of the competition and align their business operations with future market demands. Now, before we move on to the next part, speaking on proactivity, there is something called PEST, P-E-S-T. And I encourage you to write that down and to Google it. Google what PEST means in the business world. And that will help you stay ahead of certain things, economic impacts, political impacts on your business. Look up PEST, P-E-S-T, and add that to your notes as you continue to build your business. It's going to help you long term. Now, going back to the presentation, so entrepreneurs are also very passionate and they're very motivated. So passion is what drives entrepreneurs through tough times. It's not just about liking what you do, but being passionate about why you do it and the value it adds to your customers or the world. They're also very, very decisive. So making decisions quickly and effectively is a hallmark of the entrepreneurial mindset. This includes not only making the right call, but also doing it swiftly enough to capitalize on opportunities that could easily be passed by. Now, continuous learning. The most successful entrepreneurs believe that there is always something new to learn. They stay updated with the latest trends, technologies, and methodologies to keep their business innovative and competitive. Now, before we move on to the next section, I really want to harp on this specific part of the presentation, the continuous learning. How many times have you been in a business where you walk in and you're trying to you're asking someone for something specific, you have a question about a product, and it turns out that there's this one person in the business that kind of has the answers to everything, but at that moment they might be out to lunch, or you run into a business where they're doing things the old-fashioned way, right? Using something like Excel versus QuickBooks, and the kind of ongoing, I guess, joke or saying within the company is that, well, that's the way we've always done things, and the owners hate change. So those kind of things are pitfalls or traps that you don't want to fall into as you develop or redevelop your business. You definitely don't want to have all the knowledge within one employee. You don't want to bank everything on that one person, that one manager, because the day that they leave you, there goes basically all the knowledge, that helps your business run. And you also don't want to be, you don't want to let yourself get outdated when it comes to, especially nowadays with how quickly software and hardwares, evolve and change. Being aware that starting a business and running a business is going to require you to be constantly learning. And then you have to get not just good at learning, but understanding what workshops, what books, what influencers, what consultants are actually going to be worth your time, because there's going to be a lot of books a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people on social media in general, that they're pretending to be the person behind original thought. They're pretending to be the ones that are coming up with these new ways of running a business. How many times have you seen a so-called coach on social media talking about that? Hey, we can help fill up your calendar, or we can help build your system so that you can scale. A lot of those things, you have to look into the credibility of the people behind these claims. Who wrote this book? This workshop that is being put on. Who's behind that workshop? How long have they been in business? Do they have a successful business that they can actually teach me something? So it's not just about the continuous learning for you as an entrepreneur. It's also being very picky and also doing your research as to what books you're going to read and who you're going to listen to, because there's a lot of people that will put something on just to make a quick buck. And if you really look at things like, books like The Secret, it's a great book, very, very popular book, but a lot of what was being taught in that book, that secret, actually goes back even further to a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't heard of that book, or if you don't have that in your arsenal, I highly recommend picking up Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was one of the original self-help books. Okay, so moving on. Sorry, I get caught up on these tangents. So let's move on. Let's talk about the importance of a vision. So vision is your guiding star. Vision serves as a guiding star for all business activities. It helps in setting the strategies and making decisions that will align with the company's long-term objectives. Inspiration and alignment. So a strong vision is inspiring, not just to you as an entrepreneur, but also to your employees. It helps in aligning your team's efforts and motivating them towards a common goal. Great leaders, they're great at inspiring and aligning that inspiration with what they're trying to achieve, using the team to get to that end zone. Risk management. So visionary entrepreneurs are better equipped to anticipate potential risks and mitigate them before they become problematic. This foresight is crucial in navigating the complex landscapes of modern markets. So now let's talk about the role of innovation when it comes to entrepreneurs and business. So staying competitive is crucial. So innovation is key to staying relevant and competitive in a rapidly changing world. It involves not only introducing new products or services, but also finding new ways to improve business processes, marketing strategies, and customer experiences. This is also something that's going to help you with branding. So solving problems creatively. Entrepreneurs face unique challenges, and often conventional solutions just don't cut it. So innovation allows for creative problem solving that can lead to breakthroughs in how a business operates or serves its customers. So finally, let's talk about how innovation drives growth. By continuously improving and evolving, an entrepreneur can expand their business into new markets, attract new customers, and increase profitability. Now, at the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned something called the fatal assumption. And this module is going to help us understand what that fatal assumption is. So let's kind of back up. Let's talk about the concept of fatal assumption. The fatal assumption is a term that was coined by Michael Gerber, who is an excellent business coach and someone that we have learned a ton from. He encapsulates a common and dangerous misconception that is held by many new business owners. So what exactly is the fatal assumption? The fatal assumption is the belief that understanding the technical work of a business means understanding how to run a business that does that technical work. Let's say, for example, that you're a mechanic, and you worked for the same guy, same boss for 10 years, and you feel like they just don't pay you enough. You feel like the people that come to that mechanic shop are there because of you. You feel like you know more than the business owner, and you think that, hey, you know what, I carry the load around this place, and it only makes sense that I make the big bucks, that I get paid to have my own business. And so the fatal assumption is being good at your job, like that mechanic in that scenario, and thinking that just because you're good at being a mechanic that you can open up a business and be good at running your own business. Okay, so the fatal assumption leads many technically skilled individuals to open their own business under the impression that their technical skills alone will suffice for business success. Now, as an aside, write this down and do this. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. It's easy. It's quick and easy. Just jump on Google and Google how many or what percentage of businesses fail within the first year, how many businesses fail within the first 5 years, and how many businesses make it beyond the 10-year mark. And while there might be underlying issues, financial, management, so on and so forth, it almost always comes down to the fatal assumption. I bet you if you do your research on specific businesses, the reason that business went out of business is, yeah, sure, there was financial issues, there was managerial issues, but beyond that, the owner or the people that started that business were probably in that position where they said, hey, you know what, I'm good at doing X, and I'm going to start my own business because I can make a lot of money. But they had no experience in managing finances, doing the marketing, generating leads, handling customers, so on and so forth, which leads to businesses shutting down. So the majority of businesses that shut down, while they might say, hey, it was a financial issue, it really boils down to the people that started that business probably not having enough education and beyond what their technical skills were. So how do we avoid the fatal assumption? So here are some strategies to maintain an entrepreneurial mindset and not get stuck in the technician role, which sooner or later will cause your business to potentially fail. If not, you're going to struggle, and there will be some very hard lessons learned along the way. So education and learning. Constantly educate yourself about business management, not just your technical area. So this can be through books, courses, workshops, or by getting a mentor. Networking. Engage with other business owners and learn from their experiences. Networking can provide insights into how others are managing their business successfully and highlight common pitfalls to avoid. Tools and practices for continuous strategic planning. Business plan updates. So the initial business plan that you kind of develop, that needs to be regularly updated, because as you grow, as you run into specific things, you're going to reflect, your business plan should be rewritten to reflect those new insights, market conditions, and your shifting business goals. It's very, very important to have a SWOT analysis. I believe this is something that you guys have probably already covered. But conducting frequent SWOT analysis to understand your business's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but not just yours. Do a SWOT analysis on everybody from other local competitors to people that are outside of your competition, on a national or global scale. But look at that, the SWOT analysis, revisit that every so often, so you can update it with, things that you've learned along the way. Project management tools. In the digital sector, there's things like Asana, there's Trello, there's Monday.com, there's Teamwork, that helps you keep track of business operations, manage projects, and ensure that you're working on your business. Now, one thing about project management tools, this is something that we struggled for the longest time, is finding the appropriate project management tool, because sometimes you find a tool that seems like it could do all these things for you, but the data input, the data entry that involves getting all of your projects in there, following up on your employees, it can become a full-time job. So always take that into consideration and look for ones that are easier to work with if you're at a small scale, startup scale, that doesn't require a ton of data entry for it to work. As you grow and as you scale, obviously the business becomes more complex and you'll need better tools. But starting out, look for things that are simple and that are designed for startups if you're in that startup phase. These are some steps on how to shift from working in the business to working on the business. And this is something that I had always heard since I had started my business, back in 2012. Hey, you got to make sure you work on your business, not in your business. But it's one of those things that people say because somebody else told them, or because they read it somewhere, or because someone on TikTok or someone on Instagram said this, but they really don't understand what it means. If someone tells you, hey, make sure that you work on your business, or on your business, not in your business, have them explain to you what that necessarily means. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's talk about what that means. So delegation. So delegation is probably one of the hardest things that business owners will encounter. When it comes to managing people and making sure that things get done. And this is something that needs to be learned, because the whole mentality as the business owner of saying, oh, well, nobody can do things right, nobody can do things like I do, I'm just going to fire everybody and just do things myself, because that way I'm going to save myself money. Well, hold on a second. Before you start doing that, you need to master the art of delegation. And delegation is an art. There is something that needs to be learned about how to properly delegate. And I'll give you an example. I was in the military for 11 years. I was in the Air Force. And, I was so used to everybody just doing what they were supposed to do. But I took that for granted. I got out of the military and I just expected that, hey, I'm going to hire people and they're just going to do what needs to get done to get the mission accomplished. Well, it's not that simple. And the reason that the military made it seem so simple is because that was just part of our training. The military has SOPs, has systems and processes for every single thing that we do. I took all of that for granted. So stepping out of the military and into the civilian sector was eye-opening for me, because I had to learn how to delegate as a business owner, which is different than just being in the military and doing your job with other people that have already been trained to do their job. So delegation starts by delegating routine tasks. You hire staff or outsource certain functions that did not require your expertise. But what about the things that do require your expertise? So delegation is only going to be successful by this next step. So systematization. You have to develop systems and processes for all of your business operations. And if you come from a job, if you come from working for the city or working in a larger corporate setup, if that corporation was set up properly, they had systems and processes on everything: how to open the business, to how to close the business, how to do inventory properly, how to count the money properly, what to do in this case, what to do in that case. So developing systems and processes is something that usually mom and pops never ever focus on, and they might not even be aware of it. So whether you're a small one-person shop or a 1,000-person outfit, your systems and processes have to be in place. This is what ensures that the business can run smoothly without your day-to-day involvement. So think about this. When you go to HB, when you go to the bank, when you go to a car wash, especially the ones that are manned by people, the ones that you have to kind of drive through and someone has to take your payment and put a little sticker on your window that shows what you paid for. All of those businesses run like clockwork. The managers know what to do. The employees know what to do. The managers are managing the systems, not the people. That's a crucial thing. And if you don't have systems and processes in place, this can be the downfall of your business. This can be what drives you crazy at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you might tell someone, hey, I need this done. Well, you can tell someone to do something for you, but if there's no system, if there's no process, if you haven't trained that person, if there's nothing that they can reference, right, something in writing that says step by step what you just told that person to do, chances are it's not going to get done properly, or it's going to get done, but it's not going to get done the way you do it. So the way you do things, that is where you start when it comes to developing your systems and processes. Moving on to strategic leadership. Part of being a strategic leader, right? When you want to focus more on strategic and planning and growth rather than day-to-day management, you have to keep these two things in mind. You cannot delegate effectively without having systems and processes in place. And without understanding how to create those processes and systems, you're kind of stuck in this cycle of trying to grow your business, but your business doesn't grow because you cannot delegate effectively. Your business starts to suffer. Your products start to not be consistent. Your services start to not be consistent. This, if anything, is probably the most important part of developing your business. All right, so we're about halfway done through this presentation, and you're hearing me just kind of babble on about what makes an entrepreneur and what doesn't make an entrepreneur, and how to get out of that mindset of being the technician to being a true entrepreneur. And you're probably asking yourself, I thought this presentation was about AI. I thought we were talking about artificial intelligence. When is this guy going to get to the point? Well, let's get to that point. All right, let's talk about leveraging AI for business efficiency. And I promise you, everything that we just talked about transitions and has a lot to do with this next module. So let's explore how you, as an entrepreneur, can approach business efficiency with the help of AI. So let's start with an overview of AI and its potential in entrepreneurship. So AI in business involves using machine learning, natural language processing, and other technologies to perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. The potential of AI extends across various business functions, from automating routine tasks to providing deep analytical insights that can help shape business strategies. Now, these next tools, some of these tools may be out of reach for some of you, depending on how deep your pockets are. Some of these do cost, they do come with a heavy price tag. But let's talk about them. So on the CRM side, on the customer relationship management side, there's tools like Salesforce and HubSpot, and some of those, or these two specific softwares have a free or inexpensive tier that you can use. But in order to really take advantage of everything that they offer, it does get a little bit pricey. But they do use AI to predict customer behavior, personalized communications, and streamline processes. AI, when it comes to marketing, you have platforms such as Marketo and Adobe Sensei that leverage AI to optimize marketing campaigns, analyze performance, and predict trends. On the operational side, you have tools like IBM Watson, which help manage supply chains and logistics by predicting demand patterns and optimizing delivery routes. On the financial end, you have applications like Intuit and Zoho Books that use AI to automate financial processes like expense tracking, invoicing, and even providing financial advice. Again, some of those do come with somewhat of a price tag that might be out of reach initially. But they're things to put on your radar for when you're ready to, kind of automate some of your operational, your marketing. You have those in your back pocket so that when the time comes, you already have a heads up on where to start looking. But this next tool is something that I'm willing to bet that the majority of you have already heard, if not already played with this, and that's ChatGPT. So using ChatGPT as an analytical tool is going to be something that is easily accessible to you. So in this section, let's talk about how ChatGPT can be utilized to gain competitive insights and refine marketing strategies. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to use ChatGPT for some very specific purposes. Now, again, because we're limited on time, I won't be able to go in depth as to how, the step-by-step portions go, but I'm going to give you an idea as to what you can do to get a leg up on the competition. So you can use ChatGPT to analyze a competitor's social media and marketing strategy. And it might not be someone local. It could be someone national, someone that's in your industry. You can take their social media and have ChatGPT analyze it, right? So you can use ChatGPT to help gather and compile data from various social media platforms and marketing channels. You can input this data into ChatGPT to analyze for trends, tone, engagement rates, and the effectiveness of the different content types. You can ask ChatGPT to summarize these insights and develop an actionable strategy that can be applied to your marketing efforts. Okay, so what the heck did I just say? So what I'm saying is, let's say that you are in, let's say that you're in the oil and gas industry, right? And Halliburton is one of your competitors, right? This is just as an example. And you see that they're just killing it on LinkedIn. And there's a mix of, some humorous stuff. There's a mix of press releases. There's a mix of, project announcements, so on and so forth. And you want to be, you want to copy what they're doing, right? It's very interesting to you. You really like the way Halliburton, in this example, is running their LinkedIn. So what you can do is you can go into LinkedIn and take 50 of their latest posts on LinkedIn. Literally copy the text that's in those posts. You can come back to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, say, hey, I'm gonna give you 50 of Halliburton's LinkedIn posts for you to analyze. I want you to tell me, what tone they're using. I want you to tell me, what they're doing that's making them be successful on LinkedIn. So you put in all these posts from Halliburton's LinkedIn, and you ask ChatGPT to analyze it, and not just analyze it, but also to give you a plan as to how you can duplicate Halliburton's efforts for your specific business. Okay, that's one way. Another thing that you can do with ChatGPT that's going to be very important for you as a business, and we talked about this earlier, right? Remember I told you that there's a reason why we took the time earlier to talk about specific things. You can literally have ChatGPT help you create the standard operating procedures. These are your systems and your processes, right? So your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, they're crucial for ensuring consistency and efficiency in business operation. So AI tools like ChatGPT can streamline and enhance the SOP process. So again, the SOPs are it's like your Bible for your business. That's where you have everything on how you open your business, how you make sales, what to do after you close a sale, so on and so forth. If you're a restaurant, these SOPs are going to include everything. When to order more meat, when to order more inventory, when to order more of XYZ product. Your SOPs in a restaurant also consist of your recipes, because in a restaurant, being consistent is going to be crucial to have people returning to eat at your establishment. Think of Chick-fil-A. Every once in a while Chick-fil-A will make an error, but it's usually on the human side, right? There's an operator error in Chick-fil-A's chain of the way they do things. But think about how effective Chick-fil-A is, from having the kids outside taking your order, to how quickly the kitchen turns around and serves that food out, so that the people at the window can put that drink and that food in your hand. That does not happen by accident. That doesn't happen by a manager yelling at someone and say, hey, I need you to go cook these chickens. It's not that simple. There's a bunch of SOPs that Chick-fil-A uses to train every single person that goes through their door, that works in their kitchen, that works in the drive-through window, that works outside, to the managers, to the people that own their franchises. There's very specific operating procedures, and they're called standard operating procedures. This is how they have this rotating workforce of young and old that come through their restaurants, that deliver that food to you at that window exactly the same way it was the last time you visited a Chick-fil-A. And it doesn't matter where you visit a Chick-fil-A. It doesn't matter if you're in Odessa, if you're in Midland, if you're in San Antonio, if you're in Austin. Every time you go to a Chick-fil-A, it's going to be a very, very similar and very consistent experience. And it all boils down to them having these SOPs. So SOPs, again, they ensure that the business operations are performed consistently and are scalable. Now, that's a key thing right there, scalable. If you have your SOPs and you start your business Having those SOPs will, one, allow you to step away from that specific task because now you have it in writing, and you should be able to hire one person or 10 people to do that specific task. And because you have those SOPs in place, they should be able to perform it consistently. So that way you can hire more people and you can scale your business, right? Hire more people, get more business, hire more people, so on and so forth. SOPs are essential for training new employees and maintaining quality control, right? So quality control is key here. Training is key here. Consistency is key here. You cannot do this effectively without these SOPs. So how do we use ChatGPT to help us identify not only the processes, but how do we detail the steps? Okay, so you have to identify the processes that make your business run, right? So we start by selecting a routine process that requires standardization. So when it comes to ChatGPT, when you get into ChatGPT, you are going to do a brain dump. My name is so-and-so, this is my business, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, this is what I do on a daily basis. And you tell ChatGPT, and I need your help at creating SOPs for my business. Now, one key step here, go onto Google and look for a SOP template. Right? So these SOP templates are going to have specific things that are going to repeat in every single SOP. Who's responsible for, who's this specific SOP designed for, who's responsible for it, what's the goal of this SOP, who is going to be the one that's going to do the quality check on this specific task that's written within this SOP, so on and so forth. So you take that template and you adjust it to your business, and you put that into ChatGPT, and you say, hey, this is a template that I want to follow because this has the specific fields that need to be filled out. So you do a brain dump, you upload your template, and then you start with your first task. And the first task could be as simple as, how to open your business, right? You come in, the open sign has to be turned on, the front door has to be unlocked, money has to be put into the cash register, so on and so forth. So then you have your first SOP on how to open your business. And then you make your next SOP, how to close your business. And that SOP has to be step by step on how you close your business at the end of the day. Does someone have to run to the bank to make a deposit? Does an alarm has to be set? If something has to be prepped for the following day, so on and so forth. You do a brain dump of how you normally do things. And at this point, this is where AI really, really helps. This is where ChatGPT really excels. You can go into ChatGPT and do a brain dump of, this is how I normally do this task. And you don't have to stop and think, and write things down in order, in chronological order. You just basically say, hey, this is how I open my store. This is what I do, and 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 this is what I do. And you keep going until everything that you do to open your business is basically put into ChatGPT. So you've given ChatGPT your template, and now you've done a brain dump on how you do a specific task. And then when you hit enter, that's where the magic of ChatGPT really comes into play. It will take your brain dump and your template, and it will organize that content to help you put together an SOP in a split second. From there, you take that out, you edit it to make sure that you didn't forget anything, and then you print it out and you put it into a binder. And that binder becomes your SOP Bible, right? That's going to be the Bible for your business. This is what contains the instructions on how your business operates from A to Z. And as you continue to grow your business, as you continue to hire people, you'll have to go back and make updates, as things change, as things grow. There might be some minor tweaks, or maybe you forgot a step here or there. But that Bible, that SOP book is going to be what you're going to use to onboard your employees and train those employees, and also give them feedback on their job performance based on those SOPs. So those SOPs are going to be the backbone of your business. And as long as you stick to training people, and every time that you change the way you do certain things, or you add a different process, it has to go into that book, and you have to keep track of of when the last time was that you updated those SOPs, so that everybody is on the same page and everybody can do their job consistently. So it doesn't matter if John is here one day and out sick the next. As long as you have those SOPs in place, you can literally pull somebody else, or you can have another one of, another person in John's department step in to finish whatever John was working on, because there's going to be already a guide on how John was doing his job. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So using AI in your business, there's two things that I'm pushing for here. One is to help you with the creation of SOPs, and the other is to help you analyze, your competitors' social media. These are two very, very small things that ChatGPT does in the overall scheme of things, but these are two crucial things that will help you as a business owner get started off on the right foot, right? So, step-by-step guide on creating SOPs. Let's just kind of summarize everything I just talked about. So you identify a process. You select a routine process that requires standardization. You detail the steps. This is where you do your brain dump. You break down the processes into detailed steps using ChatGPT's ability to structure and organize information. You draft the SOP. So you use ChatGPT to draft the SOP document, ensuring that it's clear, concise, and easily understandable. Then you review and you refine. So you iterate over the SOP with ChatGPT, refining it to ensure that it's complete and accurate. Then you print it, put your seal of approval, and you move forward. I'm going to try to get to this next module fairly quickly. So this is the implementation and action planning part of the presentation. So in this session, we're going to transition from theoretical learning to talk about how you can apply these, to practical application. So we'll focus on how to effectively integrate the insights and strategies that we discussed throughout these modules into your day-to-day business operations. So how do we implement some of these lessons learned into the business? And not just my lessons, not just what we covered here, just in general, everything that you guys have learned in the Leading Entrepreneur Academy. So one, you need to integrate, you need to have integration planning. So start with identifying key takeaways from everything that you guys have learned from this presentation and every other presentation that directly apply to your business. Then you're going to create a checklist of these items, categorize them by immediate, short-term, and long-term actions. You're going to then create actionable goals. So develop SMART. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So develop SMART goals that align with the strategic vision of your business. These goals should be designed to implement the lessons learned, such as enhancing customer experience, improving operational efficiency, or applying new marketing strategies, or developing your SOPs and going to spy on your competitors' social media. So the steps that you should take. So prioritize your actions. So based on the impact and feasibility, prioritize those actions, or to prioritize which actions to implement first. Assign responsibilities. Determine who in your organization is responsible for each action item. If it's just you in your organization, then this is where you have to really, make the best use of your time and prioritize. Try to minimize the amount of time that you're scrolling on TikTok, the amount of time that you're on your Facebook, that you're on your Instagram. That does not have to do with improving or setting up your organization. Very important to set deadlines, establish clear timelines for when each action should be initiated and completed. And then, you go on to monitor and adapt. So after implementing these new strategies, it's crucial to monitor the progress and adapt based on the results and the new data that emerges. This session will focus on how to effectively, or this next part will focus on how to effectively track and refine your strategies. So there's going to be some tools for tracking progress and outcomes, for performance metrics, identify your KPIs, or what's called, your key performance indicators, relevant to the strategies that are implemented. So using tools like Google Analytics, using CRM software, financial dashboards to monitor those metrics. And what this means, I'm going to break this down even further. What this actually means is when we talk about KPIs, or your key performance indicators. When it comes to something like Google Analytics is going to be crucial in understanding how many people come to your website, where they're coming from, what actions they're taking when they come, after they get to your website. Google Analytics is something that if you don't have it on your website, you need to install it on your website. And you need to learn a little bit about how to read the data from Google Analytics, because this is going to be something that's going to indicate the performance of your marketing or your SEO. So again, KPI, key performance indicators, specifically talking about your website. That's how you're going to know whether or not something's effective. If you're paying someone to run paid ads for you, how do you know that they're being actually effective? They can tell you, hey, we served 280,000 impressions on this display ads for the month of May, but what did those display ads do? What did those impressions equal whenever it comes to website visits or brand lift, or if you're selling something, did you get a lift in sales because of those marketing efforts? So KPIs are going to be relevant in everything that you do, and it's better for you to understand how to identify whether a KPI is actually in favor of what you're doing, or if it's showing that what you're doing is not working. Okay. Feedback systems. Implement systems to gather feedback from customers, employees, and other stakeholders. So this can include surveys, feedback forms, or regular review meetings. When and how to adapt business strategies. You got to conduct regular reviews. So schedule monthly or quarterly reviews to assess the effectiveness of implemented strategies. Focus on data-driven decisions. Use the collected data and feedback to make informed decisions about what needs to change. Be ready to pivot or fine-tune strategies as needed to align with market demands or internal business goals. Continuing education and growth. We talked about this earlier, but in order to remain competitive and innovative, ongoing education and skill development are essential. So this final module emphasizes the importance of continual learning and provides the resources for maintaining an up-to-date skill set in entrepreneurship and AI. So I gave you some of the tools earlier to kind of start your journey down that rabbit hole as you continue your development of skills and your ongoing education. So the importance of lifelong learning in entrepreneurship. So staying relevant, especially nowadays with things like ChatGPT, and AI. The business world is constantly evolving. Again, specifically and particularly in the technology sector. So continual learning helps you stay ahead of industry trends and help you maintain a competitive edge. Adaptability. So regularly updating your knowledge and skills makes it easier to adapt to changes and tackle new challenges, effectively. There's a ton of online resources for continuing, education. So if you need to improve on finances, on management, on, business planning, on Google Analytics, on how to run, Facebook, campaigns, what have you. There's platforms like Coursera, there's Udemy, there's LinkedIn Learning for a variety of courses on AI, business management, and marketing, and more. Workshops and seminars. So you've already attended, the Latina Entrepreneur Academy. Then that's one workshop, right? It's you attend workshops and seminars for hands-on learning and networking opportunities. There's also industry conferences that can also be valuable for insights into emerging trends. Books and publications. Earlier I talked about Think and Grow Rich as one example of a book. When you start to look for books, start to be selective. Try to do a little bit of research on the author and what the book is about, and see if it's original, if it's a different take on something that exists, or if they're just regurgitating a book written by somebody else. So keep a reading list of influential books and regularly review relevant publications in your field. Consider subscribing to journals, magazines, newsletters that focus on AI and business innovations for this specific topic that we're talking about. There's also peer groups. You can join or form a mastermind group with other entrepreneurs. There's also Facebook groups. These groups provide mutual support, diverse perspectives, and a platform for exchanging ideas. I want to encourage you to continue to grow professionally, personally. I want to encourage you to set personal learning goals for yourself. each year and integrate them into your schedule, whether through daily reading, weekly classes, or setting aside specific times each month for skill development. So now, in conclusion, I did mention earlier that we do have a workshop, and it's right up your alley on everything that we just talked about in the last hour. We're going to expand over a 6-hour workshop, and in that workshop, we're going to go more in depth on the fatal assumption. We're going to go more in depth into leveraging AI, into SOP development. I'm going to give the people that attend, I'm going to give them specific reading lists, books that I've read, resources that I've kind of accessed over the years that has really helped me with growing my business. And I will share some of the things that I've gone through. I mean, it's been a struggle. It's been up and down on my end. Learning how to delegate, learning how to create SOPs, learning how to, keep a business going for 12 years is, has been a very tough experience. I came from the military. I was a medic in the military. So going from being a medic and being, with that military mindset to getting out and going into marketing, there was a lot of things that I did along the way in my military career that kind of helped me set up for what I'm doing now. I've done radio. I used to do club promotions. I've DJ'd. All of those things, whether they're related to marketing or not, there were lessons learned that helped me with my business, and I will be sharing some of those things during that workshop. But that workshop is coming up on August 6th of this year, and we have a Facebook event created. We have a Facebook group that we're developing specifically for this, and on our website, on creativemarketingnerds.com, you will find a lot of what I'm talking about here. We've been creating blogs about this, and we're going in depth on these blogs. So those blogs are kind of a preview of what to expect at that workshop. So this it's not just theory. It's actually real world things that you can implement into your business. After you leave that workshop, that will help you. If you have no idea how to do specific things when it comes to SOPs or how to integrate ChatGPT, how to get out of working in your business to on your business. That's going to be the main thing for that workshop, is teaching people how to think differently, how to look at a passion project, a business idea that they're very passionate about, but learning to separate yourself from that so you can look at it objectively and see it as something that you are developing, not something that you're having to be in the trenches in every day and having to just survive the day and survive the week so you can meet payroll and pay the bills, and get into that vicious cycle of never being able to take vacation or leave your business, because the moment you leave, everything starts to burn down. So that's essentially what our workshop is going to be on August 6th, and I encourage you to follow us on Facebook, to read the blogs that we have, join our Facebook group. It's in its early stages, so jump in there, start asking questions, start talking to other people in the group, and then spread the word, because we have the mentality of trying to help other people that we've been through it. I've been through it for the past 12 years. I've had my ups and downs, and that workshop is going to be me opening up and sharing what we've learned and giving you advice. This is stuff that I've learned the hard way. There was nobody to hold my hand, nobody to tell me, how to do certain things, and I wasted so much time and money going to school, going to different, workshops that I didn't do my due diligence research on, wasted my time on, and my goal is to help you cut through all the noise and get you on a path to where your business is successful. And I want to see you successful. I want to see you 10, 12, 20 years on the line, where your business is still up and running, or that you created such an amazing business that somebody wrote you a nice big check for, and you're taking it easy and maybe enjoying other ventures at that point. So that's all I have for you guys. I appreciate the patience. My apologies for not making it out to the actual presentation this past weekend. There was a little bit of a mix-up on my end on the dates, but I hope this presentation has been useful. And if you guys have any questions about anything on this presentation, or if you want to have sit down with a free consultation on how we can improve your website, or anything related to business, feel free to give us a call. 432-227-0080 is our main line. We have recently partnered with the Thrifty Nickel, so we are operating out of the Thrifty Nickel in Odessa off of Golder. Make an appointment, come on by, and let's talk.